Hello, welcome back to Star Trek Sodium. This week we have facts all about Star Trek Next Generation Season 4 episode Legacy. As the 80th overall episode of the Next Generation, this is the point in TNG when it had more episodes than the original series did. Legacy tells the story of the Enterprise visiting a lawless world that Tasha Yar once came from, where they coincidentally come across her sister, possibly played by the real-life younger twin sister of the Terminator's Linda Hamilton, who since trying her hand at acting here in Star Trek has since become one of the co-owners of KFC Fried Chicken. Now on to the facts that you didn't even know. Although renowned for being a rather unremarkable episode, the most remarkable thing about this episode is that it was released on more formats than any other TNG release. Legacy enjoyed a release on VHS tape in 1992, and then on DVD in 2002, a release on Parsons Trunk in 2012, and even on audio cassette tape back in 1990 as part of Paramount's original Great Experiment. The data robot actor Spiner was taking part in a new Hollywood fad, a vitamin-free diet. Any food or drink with any nutritional value or any health benefits at all was strictly off the table to the Hollywood elite of 1990. The data robot actor Spiner had seen the rich and famous enjoying this diet and allegedly decided to join in an attempt to be naturally pale and thin so that he would no longer need to spend so long in the makeup chair and no longer need to wear that painful girdle. The Riker actor had supposedly become attached to a Bronze Age bronze helmet that he had found earlier that year in Scotland, while on holiday in Scotland with his soapy family. He had been vigorously metal detecting with his cousin Simon when he discovered the bronze helmet. Returning to America, in the airport he allegedly declared it as being his own personal motorcycle helmet to the customs team so that he wouldn't have to tackle the hellish nightmare of import duty tax. Once filming began on Legacy, he actually offered the studio the opportunity to use the bronze helmet for use by one of the members of one of the gangs, but Rick Berman decided that the helmet looked stupid and so it wouldn't be used. According to a since lost report, the Worf actor's new girlfriend, Maria Carey, was on set, and trouble was stirred right up when the Worf actor overheard her tell one of the less important actors, "All I want for Christmas is you." In a jealous rage, the Worf actor mirrored his Klingon character's rage as he tore a panel of the Enterprise corridor in half and shrieked at the top of his voice like a bony reptile. Havoc was unleashed when the Wesley person possibly arrived at the Paramount Studios alongside a removal truck filled to the brim with his earthly possessions. He was due to move to his new apartment, which was closer to his college the next week, but presumed that Rick Berman and Michael Piller would allow him to store his junk there in the corner of the Star Trek Studio 9, which was curiously the exact same area where he'd been caught oscillating only 2 weeks before. Due to the painstaking nature of Legacy, Lever Burton's soapy character had to be reverse-engineered for the episode. In a deliberate daydream, he fluffed his way through the scenes, barely making a mark on the episode at all. Burton at one point was kindly pulled aside by his colleague, Fraker, who possibly confided in him that if he didn't start to work harder, then Fraker would dob him into Rick Berman, who would surely instigate one of his famous and ludicrous punishments. Having successfully fended off the Mutant the previous week, the actors were at ease in happy and peaceful moods while filming the Hensing episode Legacy. This happiness was shattered when the Mutant which was thought of to have vanished, dropped down from the darkness amongst the beams above the set, narrowly missing Patrick Stewart's hawk-like face as it landed in a horrendous squelchy thud. Actors and staff ran to and fro as the mugent hurled its muck and reared on the spot, unveiling its foul genitals to anyone unlucky enough to be within earshot. Reportedly, Colmeny was the first to fall as the mugent began its terrible rampage. Now this week, I've actually asked the impressive Google AI about this episode to see what I could find out from it. I presented to Google AI with a simple and intriguing question. My question being, in the episode Legacy, why did Captain Picard try to kiss Riker? The astute answer from Google reads, in the episode Legacy, Captain Picard's attempt to kiss Riker is driven by a desire to express his feelings and possibly to rekindle their relationship. Despite the challenges and complexities of their past, including the impact of the Borg, their connection remains strong. Picard's actions reflect his deep emotional connection to Riker, which is a central theme to the series. Brilliant work there by Google AI. Well done. And on to the comment of the week. Sid enthusiastically rasps, what is the narrator on about? All you need to do is to open your ears and let the facts spill right in. What the block is wrong with you, Sid? Thanks ever so much for checking out my super facts all about the episode Legacy, which, to be frank, I think is perhaps the most boring episode of all of Season 4, and is possibly a runaway episode from Season 1 or 2, which accidentally ended up in Season 4 amongst some much better episodes. Not a very big fan of this episode. Anyhow, thanks for checking out my facts, which no doubt made this episode more interesting to you. I'll see you next time. Subscribe if you want to, or don't, and leave a comment, or don't, and like it, or don't, and I'll catch you next time, unless I don't. Ta-ta! Happy Christmas and all that, you sod.